Welcome to another edition of the Go Nose Podcast. I am your host, Gregory McCoy. This podcast is by a fan for fans. I am not a journalist. I am not a reporter. I am not an insider. I do not work for a website. The majority of my content comes from me and my opinion. Other information comes from the internet. Instant reaction from Game 1, Week 0, Duquesne versus Florida State. I just want you to keep in mind that everything I'm going to say is we played Duquesne, bro. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, this can be a great springboard to something, better for the season and all that. It's Duquesne. We did what we were supposed to do. And, some coaching stuff I didn't agree with. Okay. And I guess I'll start with that. I didn't agree with going for the 2-point conversion when you were up basically 13-0, but you went for 2, and basically now it's 12-0. I thought that was a bad decision. I felt like just you were killing them on the ground. I would have just kept running the football. I really didn't care about the final score. I knew that I didn't know anything about this team, but I knew that they were not like a super heavy duty type of FCS opponent. And I knew that our offensive line and defensive line was better than theirs. So I just would have liked to see more, less throwing. I don't think you put Tate Rodemaker in the game to have him throw the ball down the field. I just don't think, he's at a place where that's his thing yet. I mean, he's been there since Norvell's been there, and he looks the same. He hasn't put on any weight or anything. Not knocking the kid. I mean, hell, he might be a Florida State great one day, but he's not now. Defensively, Bethune looked good. Deloach looked good. Jamie Robinson looked good. The defensive line as a whole looked good. Still some boneheaded stuff as far as the cornerbacks go. You got to clean that up. Special teams look good except for the kickoff team. I would like to see Micah Pittman do punt returns and kickoff returns. I think he's better suited for that than Sam McCall. We left some points out there. I mean, it really should have been like 35 or 42-0 going into the half. And you can't do that against LSU. You can't make mistakes like that against LSU. That's going to lose you the game. They have better offensive line and defensive line talent. So in order for you to win that game, the sense of urgency and effort has to be off the charts. Okay? Like, just from the second that you step on that field, you have to hit them in the mouth like they've never been hit before. If you're going to win the game, you have to send that message. And I just feel like Florida State went out there and won this game today just on talent. I don't feel like they just came out and just punched these guys in the mouth. Like, we're just going to beat you and beat you and beat you and beat you. They just went out there and beat them on talent. The offensive line looked pretty good. The strength and conditioning of this team, to me, is still not up to par. I feel like Clemson is the best conditioned team in the conference, and we don't look like Clemson. Our players don't look like Clemson's players. in terms of physical physiques. And I just wish that we could get to that level and surpass them. So I don't know what you need to do from that respect, but we got a long way to go. Great win again. Great to get off the season opening losing streak. All that stuff is great. There was a lot of positives. And like I said, it's Duquesne, man. It's not, this game this was just a scrimmage game is what this was. This was to get your players get your players on film, correct some mistakes, and that's really it. Get out the game injury free, get your starters out. I think you left your starters in there a little too long. But this was just a scrimmage game. This wasn't a game that I felt like we were going to lose. But, losing to Jacksonville State, you was always thinking like, okay, it could happen. So it's just nice that they went out there and actually took care of business. But again, to me, it wasn't a type of deal where we're just going to, destroy you. And that's the kind of team that I want. Like, we don't care who we're playing, we're going to destroy you. Now, if the 2013 team would have played Duquesne, they would have had 50 on these guys at halftime. And if anybody in this fan base doubts that, I mean, you obviously didn't watch the 2013 team. So, Jordan Travis looked good. Cam McDonald really didn't play a lot in this game. I don't know what was wrong with him. Pointier, whatever his name is, he looked good. He looked very good. I like Micah Pittman on the little screen game. I like Wilson. Okay, I like Span. I think you got some weapons on offense. The running game speaks for itself. I wanted to see. I actually fell asleep on it in the fourth quarter. But I woke up and saw a little bit of Rodney Hill. And he's a load as a freshman. So I would like to see him get some more carries. He can be that power back for you. But, next week you're going up against a very good opponent. The effort has to be better. Defensive line has to play better, for sure. And the offensive line played good tonight, but the effort has to be better next week, all the way around. And I just think special teams could be the difference in this game. So that's why I say put Micah Pittman at kickoff and leave him on punts. Sam McCall's he didn't do anything for me on kickoffs in this game. He doesn't look like he's comfortable back there doing that job. So that's week 0 instant reaction. Hopefully next week we'll get the win against LSU. And it's just great to start off 1-0. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you for listening. Appreciate your support. Podcasts available on YouTube and all podcast platforms. As always, go Noles.